Right, it says we're live, so
right, okay.
It says we're live. I'll see what happens on YouTube. I think I've probably got to turn it off on YouTube.
So what have you got at the minute then? Have you got? Is it connected up to YouTube or is it connected to this site?
Hopefully, I've got to figure it out. Oh yeah, it's going live on that channel now.
Right. So where does that? How does that?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's working on YouTube, so I'll turn YouTube off so I don't get feedback. That's working on YouTube. I'll just post a comment.
So how do you know if people are in?
It'll tell me.
Do we get out from this live comment?
Yes, it says so. Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody on already. I hope.
Yeah. I'll just put some posts on Facebook, so just ignore me 2 secs.
Yes.
Who's in? Yep. Evening, guys. I'll just do my sharing stuff on Facebook to get so people know it's there. We'll just chill at 5. Yeah, good. Can hear us both, I think.
Yeah, everybody hears us both good, loud and clear, and all that. 19 in chat.
Very good. Yeah, it'll go. I'll just.
That's 19.
Sharing a group. 1 second. Group River Pikers. No one. Boom. Boom.
Apparently we ignore it anyway, mate, so it don't matter if they can hear or not.
It's fine, yeah. I'm ignoring you. I'm on Facebook, mate. I'm scrolling Facebook. Says.
Yes, Laurel and Hardy, Jonathan. We're in the house, mate.
What I'm looking for. Share.
I just don't want to know with Laurel and who's Hardy.
Mate. Oh God. It's easier to do it on here. I love technology, it's nice, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it might post. Tap to change. News feed. Boom. Yeah.
Are we in? Are we done?
Yeah, I brought my River Pike mug over there.
You broke it?
Mm.
This is a collector's item because it's Kath Kidson and apparently going bust. So there you go.
Are they?
Apparently so, yeah.
Steve. I don't know whether to leave it on or off.
I have to leave mine on because I've got massive corona there. Now, Ben, that's not nice. You stand all up for him or not, fat one.
Well,
it's my corona there, I'm telling you, that's all it is.
We've got, if you're Stan Laurel, is that Hardy? Is it Tom Hardy?
You wish.
Who we got in then? So how does this work? So I think 25 people are in. Hello again to everybody, because it's this is all new to us here. We're using different way of doing it. So
definitely Yorkshire tea.
Loads of guys in. You are?
Says they hope it's Yorkshire tea. It's definitely Yorkshire tea.
Yeah, of course it is. Without doubt. So I can click that and it puts it on there. That's fancy.
Oh, right, that's cool, yeah.
Yeah, that's fancy.
Can I do that, or are you doing that like?
I don't know. Can you see it, chat?
Yeah.
So have you got your mouse? What happens if you put mouse over it?
No. Must be you.
Yeah, just me.
Yeah, it must be. Alien Heels. Who's selling Alien Heels? Is that you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it should be. Has it arrived yet, Cameron? I've got no more left.
Is that the old Alien Heels?
Yeah, but it were a new old one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I like his little alien. Cool.
29 people there. Facebook. There's a slight delay on YouTube, what we are, so. But I've got, you know, you can like put comments up. I've got control of what comments can go onto YouTube, so. Yes.
We'll have to open a poll on that one. It's a good job I know, Gabriel.
Right, I think we should just get started chatting. It's just a couple of minutes to bit. But we've got 34 in, people are coming. You're getting some rice stick.
Before and after what?
Before Corona lockdown and after.
Fishing wise, what's his plans? Do you know what his plans are?
There's no point even making any plans, is there, at a minute? Is there?
No. We should be trout fishing, shouldn't we now? But
yeah, mate.
Everything's on hold, so yeah, depends how long we're in lockdown for, I guess. And Ben were asking if we're still fishing now during lockdown, but we're not fishing at all. It's just trying to catch up with other bits and bats, aren't we?
Yeah. I've been tidying loads up and things like that, and I've got my boat to clean out this bank holiday.
Yeah.
We got now 34 people. Yeah, no point making any plans because we just don't know how long it's going to go, do we?
No. We've got a couple of little ideas. I mean, we should be in Sweden at a minute.
Thanks. Cheers, Neil. Thanks for making us feel a lot better.
We've got another Sweden trip planned for June, haven't we? But it just depends we just don't know if it's going to happen now.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm not really confident, to be honest.
No,
I think we'll not end up going.
No, I don't think we'll get on this June one. We might have to try and rebook for later in the year, probably.
Yeah, we will. We'll just rebook it at some point. Right, I think we should start cracking on and see if we can. We've not got any agenda for this. We're just going to chat and see what happens. And like I say, you guys ask us some questions. There's already asked questions coming up. If we miss your question, just fire it up again a bit later, and we'll try and answer it because there's so many questions already coming through. It's a bit difficult to keep up with everything. And yeah, we'll just have a little chat and chill out.
There's one on big baits, Paul. You see which one I mean? That's the one, mate.
Yeah.
We don't always fish with big baits, do we? It's loads for occasion, really. If we're out there in Sweden, or if we're fishing on river in winter time, you generally fish bigger baits to try and pick bigger fish up. But springtime, summertime, we'll be on small baits. We do fish all year round, but mainly for perch, really, in summer.
Yeah. I think you can catch big fish on small lures. We all know that happens, but I think I always go with the theory that the smaller lures you'll catch more fish, and the bigger lures you'll catch less fish, but you've more chance of catching a pike rather than just smaller jacks and perch and things. And that's kind of what happens. So you just kind of scale up for bigger lures for pike, but there's times when you need to fish small baits because they're not on it. And yeah, sometimes you go for silly big size baits, but even small pike are taking them, and you're just going to try and find out what works on there. But if you start catching a lot of pike when you're on small gear, I kind of feel that I'm fishing, I'm undergunned and I'm playing them too long and all that kind of thing. So at least we go with big lures. You got stronger gear and you can get them in. So it's kind of a bit of that. I'm kind of in pike mode if I've got big lures, but I do use small lures sometimes. So
I think we do like to jerkbait, don't we? And jerkbaits do tend to be 6 inch plus. So that's another thing, really. We kind of gear up, and if we can fish jerkbaits, we will jerkbait fish. So then you're looking at loads that you can use on the same equipment. So you can get one rod with you, so you tend to go bigger anyway.
I mean, this is kind of stuff that we're having to deal with. Kind of stuff we're having to deal with.
You might be a Leeds fan.
I've been out in sun today. I've got some sun coming through. Got a bit of red.
You might be a Leeds fan and just wants you to take that top off, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so I been to work today. I've been on 6 while 12. Some of us are still working. Never mind this staying at home. Some of us are still working. So got home, had something to eat, and got in garden and fell asleep on chair and woke up 2 hours later. So I'm sunburnt. So that's quite good.
I've been catching up on gardening instead of fishing in Sweden. Gotta try and get some brownie points in.
Yeah, man.
Pigeon.
Right, what should we go for?
Most recommended light for canal and river fishing. As in lures?
Yeah, that'll be low, won't it? Yeah. Where's that question gone?
What you want?
That's Sam.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's Sam McIntyre Brothers. I'd say that means low to you, so we're going to go for most recommended low for canal and river fishing. So, God, narrow it down. Canal, I pretty much always go with a Rapala, jotted shad wrap. It's just a good low to cover water. Most canals are whatever around us anyway, 6 foot roughly depth, a little bit more, a little bit less, but that sort of size. So it covers that sort of depth and makes a bit of noise, and it's good for searching. So I fish it on rivers as well. It's good. If you can find a little slack spot somewhere and you chuck a jotted shad wrap through, something's gonna at least follow it in. So it gives you an idea that you're actually in the right spot. So yeah, jotted shad wrap.
We troll big ones, don't we? 7 centimetres. They get down to probably 10, 12 foot, so we control them behind boat in summer. And they're really, really good for perch and small pike out there. Get a lot of jacks on them.
It's just attract fish, don't they?
But I mean, I like a 3-4 inch shad is as good as all. Searching canals and rivers. Not too small and not too big. It's kind of, if you go like 3.5 inch, it's a good size. You're picking up a bit of everything on that. Perch will still grab the water. That's a good searching bait if you just want to get out and about and see what's in an area or in a stretch of canal. Get a 3-inch shad on and just chuck it round. You'll get pike, you'll get perch on that, you'll get chub if you don't hunt rivers as well.
Yeah. Is that me making that noise?
Which one?
Got some feedback.
I didn't get it.
Well, boy, start sea fishing with loads. So it's something I've only ever done once, and that was last year. I went with Binner, and we went to the coast, and I took my little low rod with, even smaller lows, like stupidly small lows, and I basically stood outside at sea and looked up and thought, I've got this tiny low, and there's just like so much water, and I was like, what the chuff do I do? And I fished all day, right? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but we caught some fish, got some strange small stuff in rock pools and things, but I'm like, sometimes I was chucking lows out into sea and thinking, what am I even aiming at? Because it's not like when you're fishing a river and you look at the features. I'm sure there's features out there, and there's understanding tides and all this kind of stuff, but I was just looking at sea going, I don't know. Did some jigging off harbours and you caught fish that way. I don't know what they were, I can't remember now. And you just sort of dropped it down outside of an harbour and jigged a small low, and you caught fish. But that's my only bit of sea fishing I've ever done. So have you done anything?
Just on holiday. I've taken a few bits of tackle on holiday before and caught a few bits and bats. Mainly on bread, I think. Snick a bit of bread, don't you, from buffet, and generally catch on bread. But low wise, I've not really caught many lows. If you drop on Jeremy's comment, he's asked that question twice about minnows mouse. Not used them. Would I pay 30 quid for one? Probably not. But I do fish jig flies quite often. Martin Smith makes jig flies. He makes nice jig flies, and he's done some videos for us up and coming. So have a look at that. Fish them quite a lot. My PB pikes on a jig fly. So I don't think I'd go to the extent of paying 30 quid for the minnows mouse. But they're doing business out. They're catching a lot of fish on them. I think it's just it's like all else. It's just sort of another sort of lure that follows a theme, and they've managed to get it to move a bit of water, and it's working. But don't know. See if price comes down first.
Yeah, it obviously catches fish, but I wouldn't pay 30 quid. I struggle to pay 30 quid for a jerk bait, but I like, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm a bit tight, but
I
do like lows, but yeah, I do like lows, but I'm not paying silly money. I'm not. Yeah.
No. I've just paid 30 quid for a lure for that Robinson Jack tail light, but I tell our lass.
Yeah. No, like I say, it's a lure. It works. I'm happy with most lures. If you put them in front of something, you fish them enough, you've got confidence in that you're using it right. Using it its right sort of areas, and it does what you want, whether it be depth or speed or whatever it is, vibration, whatever it is, it'll catch fish. So I know if I use it on river and some of the spots I fish, I'd catch, because it's like you could use, well, it could be quite crude, but you could use anything and it'd catch a pike. But yeah, you'll catch fish. Obviously, it got a bit of fame through that big fish from Pierre, didn't it? And a monster pike, they were an awesome fish. But you can go around expecting to catch a monster pike on it, and it won't happen. So yeah, but good lures. Yeah, I've not even seen one in flesh close up. Not even touched one. So I don't know how well it's made. Now I've no doubt it isn't well made, but
they're putting a pig shad tail on back out there.
Yeah, we're going to do all that out there.
So
they're going to do all different ones out
there.
Yeah. What have we got?
Few trout there, mate.
Trout ones. We should be trout fishing now, shouldn't we? But we can't get out, so we're all locked in. Yeah, John Burns, that big brownie, that one where I scream like a little girl.
Do that a lot.
I do. It was a jointed yogi, a little custom wooden lure that made by a guy in some European country. I can't remember which it is, Slovenia or somewhere. I can't remember. Good lures, nice little lures. Yeah, yoga's been out for a long time. Nice little lures. Yeah, I've got one similar at the minute. Answered also one to Jonathan's that question and same one.
Yeah.
Got any small lures? I've got one in my shop at the minute. I've got quite a few little ones, Jonathan, in my shop. There's a Tucko minnow, which is like the jointed yogi, what I call that PB brownie on. So I've got a few. I've got some little cranks. Drop me a message. I'll point you what you need if you want to. You don't need loads, just a couple of it. There's Udge kilos. Yeah. Oh, we've got a bit of something. But
I've got a video dropping in on trout lures the next couple of days. So
yeah.
There's a few on there.
Yeah. That PB brownie, by the way, going back to that one. I actually went last year. I'd been trout fishing last year. If you watch me and Neil's videos last year, we actually did a little bit of exploring, just went somewhere different and tried new waters, and we caught fish, and we didn't catch no monsters, but we could catch some different fish and different fish in different places. And I went for adventures, and then on way back from one of them, I was like, I wonder if that fish is still there. And it's a bit of a trek, so I kind of walked all the way to this spot where that brownie was. And I actually had waders with me this time, so I waded into water downstream and slowly crept up. And it took me ages. It must have taken me an hour to get this spot. I slowly crept up, and then first cast, fruit swim, and I got a thunderous whack. And then this big thing came to the surface, and a big tail swiped, and then up came out, and I'm like, you bugger. And that was my chance. So I presume it was the same fish. I'm guessing it was the same fish. So, give it, I don't know, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, that now easy. So I'm like, oh, how big would it have been now? It'd be nice to catch it and see if it was, see if it was what same fish and see how much it had grown. But yeah, it was a beast of a fish. But yeah, I lost it. So
They do tend to hang around in the same area, though, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
When I used to fish with Matt on a small river, and there was a spot that was really difficult to get into, and you used to have to climb down bank to it, and you literally had one cast at this fish, and it were always there, and it were a big one, and the amount of times that we had one cast at it, came swiped and it was gone. It was just a nightmare to get into, but it were there for 2 or 3 seasons. We'd always make a point of going to that swim and having a crack at it, but you only had one shot at it. You'd take it in turns to have a shot at this fish, and I don't think we ever actually landed it, but it was a big fish. What we got there? Clear water. Clear water's not good. For that one.
We'll go back to that one. Yeah. So there's a few places in this country. There's a little bit of brackish water in there. I think on Broads you can get little bits of brackish water, but I don't know much about it, to be honest. The bits I know about is the fishing in Sweden, what we've done, and it's like this strange place that you fish. It's like fishing in sea, in it. It's slightly salty water, and there's jellyfish swimming past you, and then there's a pike. You catch a pike. It's just really strange. So
there's loads of jellyfish everywhere.
Yeah, I won't say I understand it, but yeah, pike live in it, and I mean, if you don't really know, you'll watch some of the Swedish videos, but we talk about the archipelago, however you want to pronounce it, and it was something I didn't really know much about, to be honest, until you start watching these Swedish videos. But basically, you've got a lot of like low-lying land in Sweden, and there's a lot of water that come from higher up in, well, say hills, and it snows so much, and there's a lot of water comes down, and it's basically you've got loads of fresh water that meets the sea, basically, and it moves in and out, and it don't really always mix properly. In some parts it does mix, and it's just a really weird thing. The pike are feeding on herring and all that kind of stuff, which is just crazy to think about. So, but yeah, they do survive in it. Yeah,
probably this ties in with that clear water one as well, because when we went in October, we just had loads and loads of really clear water, didn't we?
Yeah,
and it was a nightmare. We actually went out looking for some murky water. What you do get in Sweden is you do get the bait fish, like Paul says, they feed on herring, but you've also got roach and bream in there. And if you can find shoals of bream, they churn bottom up, so you do get these cloudy areas, and that tends to be where bream are. So we were actually out looking for cloudy water. We found a couple, didn't we? A couple of areas where it were clouded up because bream were feeding hard on bottom. But it's really hard. Clear water's not easy at all. When we river fish, if it gets really clear, if you get a long hot summer and you don't get much rain, it does get really, really clear on rivers, and it's just hard work. It can be almost as hard as really cloudy, can't it? Yeah. It's just it's a toll.
Yeah,
so I'd rather.
Yeah, this one was. I'll go for this one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so obviously fish finders, you can spend thousands on them now, and there's some new ones out that's fancy. It's like watching TV. You can actually see the fish moving and stuff. So, but most people have got a bog standard, like a low rinse or something like that. Whatever fish finder, and now I'm not going to go into all this like explaining chirp and what they call it, structure scan and side scan, because I'm no expert on that. I've got a fish finder, and it shows me a few things. So I'll tell you what I do. My fish finder shows me depth. So if you're trolling, for example, that's a good thing to know, because then you know what lure to put on. If you were just as an example, if you're in 30 foot of water and you're putting in a lure that only goes down 2 foot, then you're not going to have much of a chance. And vice versa, if you've got a lure that goes 30 foot deep and you're fishing in 5 foot, you're going to be snagging up. So we use it to help us for trolling and to understand not contours, but out river goes. You might look for a drop off. So it might be steady 10 foot, and then all of a sudden it drops off to 16, 17 foot. So that's like a bit of a shelf. You might find, depends which way it was going, if it's going downstream over the drop off, or upstream over the drop off. It's a bit difficult you've got to try and work out where the fish will be sat on that. And then, like I say, your fish finder will show you fish. So the fancy modern ones, you can actually pick out what type of fish they are. Some of the, if you've got a small screen and an older unit, it might not be as easy. You just see a shape or a lot of shapes. So you've just got to sometimes just have a cast, and as many times we'll pull up to what we see loads of fish. You have a cast around and nothing takes you low. So it's like, well, it might not be perch, it might be some other roach or something. But if there's fish there, there's pike there at some point, and you might just have to get them feeding. So use a noisy lure or something and that kind of thing. But
bait fish, like you said, it's not really picking on it. It's bait fish. If we can find bait fish, we'll fish round shoals of bait fish. They're good for that. You don't, like you said, like Paul said, you don't really, unless you get the really expensive ones, sort of pick pike out. There was some on Canal Gratis the other week where they saw it on side scan, and they saw this fish on side scan, and then they cast to it and he caught it, and then he wound back, and you saw him actually, the fish taking and all that. They're top of range sort of stuff. The ones that we use, you can pick up, like Paul says, depth features and bait fish shoals for me. If I'm fishing a feature with a bait fish shoal on it, and I know what depth I'm in, I'm pretty happy with that. Then I'm going to catch pike on that.
Yeah, I mean, you might be just going along, might be just driving along on your boat, and you spot like a hump on the bottom or a dip on bottom. It's things like that. That's something different. That's what fish, especially bait fish, will tend to congregate around those areas, and the pike won't be far away, perch won't be far away either. And like I say, it's just that's how we use them. We ain't got the best finders, and they do a job. And like I said, the modern ones are really fancy. They can do all sorts of stuff. And you get, like when we were fishing, if any of you watched the fishing in Spain videos, you usually find a different way there. Slightly better fish finders, got bigger screens so you can see more on your screen. And then you were fishing for, you can do this with pike, but we're fishing for barbel mostly, where you were dropping your lure down, you can see your lure, and you're dropping your lure on the nose, and you basically jigging it right in front of them. And you can do. We did that with pike. We caught a few pike that way as well. But that's another way of fishing it. But you need to have a bigger screen. I'd say 7-inch at least.
So the 9 would even just 2-inch up to 9.
Yeah, exactly. 7 watt minimum, but 9s if you can go forward an 11 or whatever. And that's ace. You can see more and you can watch what you're doing. And but that's just another way of fishing.
On them barbel videos, a couple of times, I think you can hear us saying, "Oh, you saw it come up. I saw it come up."
Yeah.
Because we were watching them coming up. We were watching fish coming up on finder and hitting it.
Yeah. And that's what the lads doing when they're doing fishing for zander. They do the same sort of fishing. Even fish for perch like that, but fish for zander back where they drop it on my nose and But
we were fishing in like 17 meters, weren't we?
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of fishing. You ain't got that sight fishing that you get on rivers sometimes if you jerkbait or whatever. And it's that confidence and knowing that there's some up there. It gives you that, I think. That having that kind of fish fan and that technology when you're fishing that deep. We've been before, haven't we, on Rutland and stuff like that, where you're fishing in deep water and you're just jigging and you're just doing nothing, and it's mind numbing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having that technology and having at least knowing that you're on fish keeps you going and it keeps you motivated, I think.
Yeah.
What else we got?
I think I've never really thought about it. It's not something that interests me. Like when you're in lockdown and you can't even go to the end of the street. I've never once thought about fishing in a Canadian wilderness. Never once. Yeah. One day.
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
One day I'll do it.
Yeah. Even just pike fishing out there would be special, wouldn't
it? Yeah. Just it's like being out there, I'll just ace, wouldn't it? Just middle of nowhere. I've seen old videos and TV shows, and I remember I can't remember it well, but I remember a guy fishing on a canoe type thing, and he gets to the end of the lake, and then he drags his canoe across land for a mile, and then he gets into another lake, and then he fishes that one and goes on to the next one, and it's just like that, and he goes up a river, and they just disappeared out there. That would just be ace. That, imagine living that life, but we're in lockdown. It's just fun to go to the garage. Let's put bins out yesterday. Oh good, put bins out. Green bin day. I hope nobody missed out on that fun. Green bin day.
What else we got?
So, what trace and lure connector would you rank for lures under 6 gram?
Under 6 grams.
Yeah, you're into realms of little fiddly things that's a bit of preference. So when you're using bigger lures, stay lock snaps a decent one, but when you get to switching and changing small lures, the stay locks are a bit fiddly, opening and closing it all the time. What do they call them? The Gemini Genie mini link clip or something it's called. You've got them on some of your traces, Neil.
Yeah, I use the lightweight snood clip. I think they call them snood clips.
That's what they call it, yeah. You just to watch those ones that if it were on the eye of the actual clip, when you tie your trace on that, the eye's joined up, because some of them, but it's just like a bit of, imagine it's hard to draw on the screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that it's a number 9.
Closed, is it?
Yeah, it's not solid. It don't join. No. So, but they're good clips because they're easy to just clip your small lure on and off all the time. But they're just you just got to watch for that, aren't you? That they're joined up. So
I've never had a problem with one opening up. I particularly like them for fishing jigs on. It's really easy to change and fast to change. So, and I've never had one open up. Like you said, only point is making sure that your top eye is fully shut so that it don't slip out. Anything wire. I mean, when I'm fishing really like that, I don't mind using like 7 strand. You know what I mean? And just steel wire. I know you've got some really good light titanium at you at minute. But yeah, I use sort of easy twist and what's not too kinky, that kind of stuff, and K-Toll that Paul uses now.
Yeah, we've got
Evening, Stu.
How about Stu? To be honest, you slack water's a starting point. A pike that's chilling out and just sort of waiting in ambush for something. They kind of sit there, and bait fish will sit on the edge of slack waters, just off of the flow. So it's a good all round spot for everything. But to be honest, that pike, they're absolute machines when on the river, and when they're in mood, they'll just get up and they'll go anywhere, and you'll catch them from the slack water right up to the mouth of a raging weir, where the really white water that rages over the top. You'll find them sat right in there, and you're looking at it thinking, there's not even anything can stay there, but you'll be surprised. You put your lure in there, and there'll be a pike there. So any bit of it, yeah. I know, but they don't want to waste energy and that kind of thing. But when they're on the hunt, they'll go right up into the fast water. And I think when did I mention it? I mentioned it briefly about somewhere else about one of my best days everywhere. I had 2.5 hours of fishing, and I had 35 pike. I was stood in one spot, and I had 35 pike in 2.5 hours. That's just crazy. And they were in white water. They were in the fast water. I don't know what they were feeding on, but that's where they were. And it was kind of what you'd be thinking. You're expecting a salmon to leap out of it to go up a weir, but there were pike there. So yeah, you do find them all over. But
I mean, we'll often troll down margins, won't we?
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll try and troll tight to a tree line or a row of boats and stuff like that. And what you'll find is in your head you're thinking that the pike are going to be tucked in where there's a bit of cover and a bit out of flow, and then often we'll just say, oh, let's move to the other side. So we'll start going across, and you'll get a take mid-water, and that's where it flows at its strongest. So they do sit anywhere really, like Paul said, probably when they're on hunt and when they're looking to try and find feed. So try anywhere.
Usual places like any features and overhanging bushes and, like I said, in margins, bit of weed, stuff like that. They're anywhere they can hide and they can lay ambush. Sometimes they're just sitting those. I think as well myself, sometimes they're sitting like the weed and that, because it's a bit comfy, a bit warm, and just chill out. And they're not really in mood for hunting. But when they're hunting, you'll find them absolutely anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I say, you can be in really deep water, 30 foot of water, and the 5 foot front surface, and another day, they're sat on bottom and not doing anything. So just cover that water. But yeah, typical places as usual, like you say, flat waters and all that. That's exactly where to start. Yeah, what have we got else?
Just a good starting point, innit? You fish your slacks because it's a good starting point, I think.
Yeah. Well,
how do you avoid hitting rocks on Swedish Baltic, Paul? Or did you plow on?
They're pretty obvious, aren't
they? You can't miss them, can you?
You can't miss them. No, you can't miss them. They're pretty obvious. You'll be just driving along, and all of a sudden there's a rock about a foot underwater.
That never happens. That.
Stop mentioning Sweden anyway. We were all trying to forget Sweden.
Can't believe you skipped that one.
Which one?
One above.
No, we're not talking about Baltic. We don't care about Baltic anymore. Falling out with it. Ryanair cancelling flights on us. Yeah, Matthew. So I would say it kind of evolved into a bit of helping people about lure fishing as this YouTube channel thing. So usual advice is, well, first of all, is enjoy it. It's pike lure fishing's good fun. It's not all about catching fish sometimes. So enjoy everything about it. Don't get caught up in trying to catch. If you don't catch the big fish that you want, you ain't succeeded, because it's all about fun. Is lure fishing. If you want to catch fish, then stick a pop a bait up on a carp puddle and wait for it to run off, and you'll catch fish. What that's what it's about. But lure fishing is just good fun. Tackle wise, just get the gear that you need for the usual tools. I'm getting a phone call as usual. But I'm on telly. Usual gear, all your tools that you need to have, so you're prepared for anything that happens. It helps if you can get out first. If you're a newcomer, you can get out first with somebody who's been before, and they show you, because they can show you so much easier up close. But you can learn hard way. And lures, don't buy too many lures. Just buy it. I say five. Five is a good number of lures, because you can give a bit of variety. No matter what size lures you go in, you can get a bit of variety. Something that rattles, something that's bright, something that's natural, something that wiggles, something that's big and curly, something that jerks about. And you've covered a lot of everything there. That's probably more than five, but get a mixture of those and just have a go with them and get used to them. And I've done a video on it's probably on a canal or something. It's about catching more fish, and I actually saying that get used to your rod and your reel. Get it so it's like it feels like it's your part of your body, if you want to be whatever. And once you know what everything feels like, what each lure feels like, it's a lot easier. You're not going to miss. You're missing takes to start because you don't know what everything feels like. But people are fishing with lures that's not working properly because you don't feel it right. And get used to it. Don't worry about catching. The fish will come. One day you'll go fishing and you'll just catch. You can't stop catching because it just happens. Just clicks.
I just said don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is buying. I mean, I've been lure fishing for a long time now, and there's all this one that, like Menace Mouse has been mentioned tonight. There's all this one next craze, isn't there? Don't get caught up in it. Like Paul says, get some lures that you're confident with, or use them until you're confident with them, and stick with them. If you know something's working, it'll work. You might be at the wrong place. You might just not be feeding on that day. If you're doing something that you're confident is working, then you just stick with it. Don't get caught up in buying everything. If you're wanting to fish heavy. If you're wanting to fish somewhere in the middle, so you can, go towards perch, or go with that. Don't just sort of buy everything all at once and try and do everything. Like Paul says, get some gear that you're happy with. Learn how to use it properly, and go from there.
Quickly going back to the small lure clips, John's put a little bit of answer for.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
The mini snap for under 6 grams. So that's another one you can look at. Savage Game mini snaps. So they should be all right. Neil.
It's called drain pipe. It's simple as that.
If you got to, don't forget they haven't seen that video yet, Neil.
No. There is another video coming up, and it is just literally 3-inch black plastic square drain pipe.
So if you haven't already made a low bag or a boat bag or anything, just wait a week or two, and Neil's got another version to do. I know I've done one before. People have seen my stuff on Facebook or whatever, or on the website. I've seen what I've made before, but similar kind of idea, but Neil's is quite a good idea and it works. So might be interesting. But the black pipe is just drain pipe from your local. Oh, good luck going to B&Q, by the way. Has anybody tried going to B&Q on lockdown? No. I went to B&Q thinking I can get in B&Q, and basically it's click and collect, isn't it? So
yeah, if you need things you can order though.
Yeah. So when you go onto the website and you're either in a queue or website's closed down because it was too busy. So I've been trying to buy a lawnmower for about 2 weeks. So yeah, so it's coming on Saturday, by the way. So that's my job Saturday, cut grass. So yeah. So if you want help from B&Q, crack on now because you're not going to get it.
I'd have lent you my lawnmower if you'd have wanted it, mate.
Yeah. I've got one. I've got a lawnmower. It's just blunt. What we got? Oh, I've got a million questions.
So I've gone on. What time's fishing? That last light one.
Which one? That one.
Yeah. I've often done a lot of short afternoon sessions. I've always found afternoon and evening to be good, especially in summertime. If you're sort of dropping out after work and doing a few hours. So last light for me. Dawn, it is a known good time, and I've done some good early morning sessions, but I just think that I don't like getting up. Paul knows that I don't like getting up, so yeah, it'd be last light for me. We always end up fishing in the dark, don't you?
Shocking. How can you not want to get up and see sunrise? Best time of day.
Because I always get up for work, and I don't want to get up when to go fishing then.
Yeah. I've done well on both. Same thing. They're a good time of day. I've also struggled and not caught anything. Sometimes I fish places where it seems to be where you get when light seems to drop down and nothing happens. And I'm like, why does that work? But that's just, I suppose, there's always an exception to the rule. But I suppose my PB came from dusk, just getting dark. So
yeah,
why not go for that one? But yeah. You kind of think that if you want to put these little theories in your head, that they're kind of thinking, right, I'd better get a quick meal before bedtime. So we all do it. We all raid fridge before bed and stuff. So maybe they're thinking the same. But yeah, I like mornings just because I like mornings because I prefer this, and I like a nice sunrise. And yeah, I don't always do it for fish, but a bit stupid. But
no, likes making me get up, I think.
Yeah, I think that's more I like to torture him. But then and then. Midday, bright blue sunshine, clear water, and then you'll still catch pike, and you're like, oh, what's happening here? So yeah, it's not always the best, but definitely low light. I think certain times of the day, pike feeding, especially bigger fish. I think they'll often just feed at certain times, and what that could be one, early and late. If you've missed that feed, you can maybe just catch a few jacks all day. So what else have we got? So I'm going to, can I go scroll right back to earlier? Maybe I can, yeah. 1 second.
Which one are you looking for?
There's one for you. I'm have to go in early.
All right.
Is it still there? Must be. All right, lads. Talk amongst your seconds 5. I'm just trying to find something. Oh, I can't find it. There we go. So there's my story.
Oh, have you got a tale to tell?
Why can I not understand how this camera works? So that's my badge. Most of you know that I'm from Cass, Sport Castleford Tigers. So that day you saw me on the boat, Mr. Blue Pike Hunters, then my boat engine broke down. So obviously I'm on social media, and not only do people follow me, but I follow other people. So some of the people I follow are like people who play rugby. I like to see what happens and see what they're up to, and rugby talk and stuff. And through mutual enjoyment of rugby and fishing, I've got pally with a couple of people on who play for rugby, and one of them played for my team, Luke Gale. And I'm sure if anybody out there who follows rugby league, Luke Gale played for my team, and he messaged me like, I'd want to go fishing. So I took him perch fishing, and we got him a perch, and I took him trout fishing, but he kept saying, I want to go on your boat, and I'm like, I'll tell you that, mate, when it gets a little bit later in the year and it calms down a bit and it's not sunny. So we'd done the perch and we'd done the trout, and I'm like, right, I'll take you up river. And you can remember that day because you passed me. You'd been out all day, and basically, I turned up and it was colour of mud. And I'm like saying to Gail, yeah, you'll catch fish, mate. We'll catch some fish today. And we passed you, and basically you went, we've been out all day. We've got next to nothing. And I'm like, oh, chuffing hell. I brought a bloke out trying to, catch him some fish, and yeah. So then my engine broke down, and I'm like, this is just going to a disaster. So yeah, it was a good day. Luckily, I'd got an electric engine, and I managed to get us to local chandlery and bought some bits and fixed my other engine, my petrol engine, and then off we went. And eventually, I got him on a spot, and he caught 5 pike, so it worked. And but yeah, that was nearly a disaster that day. Yeah, fishing, boat fishing.
Mr. Blue Pike Hunters is Ewan. There you go.
Right, I missed any other questions. I had a beef sandwich. On brown bread. I had a sausage roll, and I had ready for this, a chocolate orange scone. Neil's face has gone funny because I said scone.
Is that a scone or a cone? I thought you said cone.
Yeah, that's ready for dinner. A pot of tea. That'll might help my dinner. What did you have, Neil?
I've just had lasagna.
Hey.
Salad. Lasagna, it's Italian, mate. You won't get it. You don't eat foreign.
Hold on a minute. So we need to get something right here. So when you say dinner,
what do
you mean? I mean dinner were like 12:10.
I didn't have any dinner.
Is Wild Boy posh? Is it just have dinner?
Yeah. I think he means tea.
It's tea. There's some weird people on the internet, isn't there? If that's what it is, there's some weird people on the internet. Yeah. We'll do another one then. Have you ever watched it, Neil?
No.
So years ago, I can remember watching one, and I don't know how big he was. Before I were into YouTube, I watched one of his shows, and I did a pike fishing video, and I was like, oh, this guy's a bit crazy. And then he were okay, and then I got too much of the overexcited thingy. But like I say, they're dead right. They're making YouTube videos, and they do a bit of other stuff as well. But YouTube videos, entertaining people with fishing, passing a few tips. Obviously, piking wise, they'll catch pike, but they're not diehard pikers. So I think sometimes I've seen stuff and I thought that's a bit, not quite right. But yeah, it's entertainment, and it's not all about being Mr. Perfect and telling everybody that everything's right and here's my best gear and here's this new brand. They just go out and fish and enjoy ourselves. So that's we go to work, we come home and we put YouTube on for a bit of entertainment. TV is rubbish in it, so yeah. It isn't it? There's nothing else.
No.
Crazy. It's crazy to have people from a different country in it.
I'm from Finland.
How you doing, buddy? That just blows my mind. I was talking to a guy last time, and he's from Estonia, and you're like, what? How do we? Yeah, mega. Like I said, amazing what YouTube can do. Internet. I was told not to meet people off internet, but I've met some strange people off internet, by the way. But I've met some alright people as well. So yeah, it's crazy.
You met me on internet, actually. Funnily enough.
Well, that thing in Grindr. Daniel, favourite Topwater lure. Favourite Topwater lure. Well, my PB comes on a Topwater lure, and it were a little surface popper. The little like 6 centimetre surface poppers. I got a 27 pounder on it, so that's got to be my favourite one. And that's what I used to use as a kid. It's got me the pike fishing bug when I used to because I didn't know how to fish any other way. I didn't know about using heavy braid and all this kind of stuff, so I was losing lures all the time. And the only way I found to fish was to use a surface lure, and that saved me getting snagged up and losing my gear. So I used that, and then I had a bit of fun late summer catching jack pike, and then one day this mega fish took it. So, and what depth do you roughly get bigger pike from? I'm not a big pike expert, but yeah,
I mean,
you can get them.
Well, like you just said, you had that one on a Topwater, didn't you? Years and years ago, and then we had one just before end of season. We were fishing really deep, weren't we? We were in sort of 25, 30 foot of water. So they are where I'd say they are where prey are. Wherever
exactly.
best prey fish are is where your big pike will be. You'll have a big pike somewhere that's boss of them all, and that's where it'll be. Wherever best feeding is.
Yeah.
But I mean, for top waters, I'm definitely a frog man. I love me hollow-bodied frogs. I've done for a while, especially fishing in really dense cover, weed or into reed stems and stuff like that. You can't beat them. Spectacular takes. I think you did quite a good video on it, didn't you? A few years back, Paul. I think.
Yeah.
On frog fishing. I just love fishing on frogs.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? It is good fun. It's visual. You see what's happening. It's like I say, there's a lot of hits and misses, and you, like I say, it gets art going, doesn't it? It's good fun. Not
best for hooking up, like you just said. Nope. But when we go out in summer, I'll generally have one with me when I ain't boat. And if we get a chance, if we get a bit of shallow water or a bit of weed or something, and we think there's a pike knocking about, I'll flip one out with a couple of bonus fish doing that, haven't we?
Yeah. Joe, Nipex tools. What do you reckon, Neil?
Well, I think if on our jerkbait video, wasn't it, as a recent one?
Definitely. Watch the jerkbait video, Joe, that recent one.
We've had some nightmares with clippers, haven't we? The fishing ones have been the work, and you get by with them, but ultimately you're towing and you're arriving in a fish's mouth, and it's not good. And then I bought a set of Nipex. I bought a set of Nipex wire cutters recently, and they just eat through.
Miles better.
Yeah.
You get right tool for a job, it's better, isn't it? Yeah. If you're only fishing, I mean, I've got the Fox cutters, and if you're only using the lead on smaller lures, smaller hooks, yeah, it's fine, But if you start using some of these bigger hooks, especially the musky lures and the stuff that's got these big mustard hooks or the big eagle claws, they're a bit harder to get through, and especially them mustard ones that's on some jerk baits and that, they're beefy out there, and you need some proper tools to cut through, and it gets you out of a pickle. So if you're using a lot of big lures, get some Nipex. They're not, like I say in that jerkbait video, £25. It's the price of a jerkbait. So you've got loads of jerkbaits, just buy them instead. Buy another one of them.
Yeah,
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
Evening, Steve. I do think they are worth money though, the Nipex ones. Like you say, it's price of one lure in it, so get yourself a decent set and have job done.
I might even treat myself and get some as well.
Never.
Then again, if you're on boat with me, I can use yours, can I? Why don't you leave your pair in boat with me?
Could do, yeah. Well, they do. I mean, only downfall with them is they do weigh a fair bit.
Yeah,
they're a chunky beast, so they do weigh a bit. So that is downside to them. But I do think they're worth the weight, like. I'll let you answer that, Paul.
I'll let you answer it. I thought it'd be your turn to answer. Truth. I'll give it truth. We've both started seeing other men. Simple as that. We just decided to start seeing other men.
Am I other man?
Yeah.
All right. That's what I am.
Yeah, we're just doing his own thing. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing, and we're not fishing together. But that's kind of it. There's no real stories to it. No real drama.
No drama. We bump into each other, don't we? I've known AD a long time. We bump into each other. We have a chat on that. Yeah.
We still fish the same place. I think last time we went on boat. Was it last time we went on boat? We saw him. I can't remember. The second to last time we saw him. Yeah, we'll have a chat on that. But we get off and go do his own thing, fishing. What we got? $150. I'm so out of touch with what's on market. I get these kind of questions so many times. So if anyone wants to answer it in questions, crack on. But because I've got the gator rods, I just use the gator rods all the time. They're obviously not in £150 bracket, nowhere near that. But so I've not looked at or used another rod for quite a few years now, and so I don't even know what's good and what's out there and what's the bargain. So hopefully some lads in chat can maybe offer something. How much were your rod, Neil?
175, I think. That's what Dave Lund Trickster.
Yeah, a little bit more, but it's worth it. Dave Lund Trickster.
I don't know if Axioms are a bit more or a bit less. I can't remember.
Yeah,
they're obviously one piece. That's difference between Trickster and Axiom, really. I want a 2-piece rod for when we go into Sweden and what have you. It just transports easier. You know, they're custom made jobs. Off shelf, a lot of people are raging about these Westing rods, aren't there? Yeah. I know Adam and Matt and people like that, a couple of lads who we went to Sweden with, sort of going big in Westing rods up at the minute. So, you know, have a shot round, ask questions. There's plenty of people on the internet now that have probably bought that rod. So, ask question. If you do, probably the biggest piece of advice when buying a rod, if you get the opportunity to pick one up, an old one before you buy it, and see how it feels, see what it's like, and that kind of thing. I always prefer to pick a rod up and have a feel of it before I buy it.
I'll keep my eye on chat and see if anybody answers. See if anybody else bought one similar to that sort of price range. To be honest, if you're paying 150 quid for a jerkbait rod, it should be pretty good nowadays because all these companies like I don't know, Daewoo must have one. How much is that Daewoo XR jerkbait rod? Is that? Have a look at that one. But there must be a few people that who else?
I think there's an heavy Pro Rex rod, isn't there?
Is that the one? Yeah.
Version of Pro Rex. I mean, you really like the Pro Rex, don't you, Mini? Obviously,
that's that one, the XR. So,
is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah. Well, like I say, I'm proper not a tackle type. I'm not a geek when it comes to all that stuff. I always forget what they're all called. I'm kind of like, it's a rod, but yeah. 150 quid. You're still paying a decent amount of money. You know, you can pay. I remember my first rods were more like 50 quid, and they were always bang on. So you should be at 150 quid and get a good rod.
Decent budget, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, these Westing rods that's coming out. You know, some of them are a little bit more money because people like to, splash out, and Westing have realised that people pay a little bit more money for a good rod that's a bit tighter and stuff. But you don't need to pay that. 150 quid going to get you a nice rod. But I'm hoping somebody will put a few options up, but there's quite a few people talking about me boxers. Look, if I can get some boxers from Sports Direct, I'm having some, because it usually get some decent bargains from Sports Direct. I got my first.
You were picking up wolf tails off them, weren't you?
My first wolf tails from Ben. They were about £7. I'm like, I wish I'd realised at the time I should have bought loads because they were like dirt cheap. No, never. Never done that like that. Never been filmed. That story is ridiculous. If people's never watched that, what is it? Is it what's it called? What's that video called?
Which one is it? Is it Saving Bert Part 2?
Part 2, innit? Saving Bert Part 2. If you've never watched it, watch it. But in fact, watch Saving Bert Part 1 first.
Yeah.
That's it, right. Saving Bert Part 1.
I'm sure it is. That's one with kayak in it.
Yeah. And then watch the second one. And it's just ridiculous. I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil what happens for people who haven't watched it, but it's just ridiculous. And after all that, well, yeah. Savage Gear, there we go. Paul Reed, Savage Gear custom jerk for 110. Savage Gear used to always do decent rods. I mean, I know they're renowned for sometimes making lures that are a bit cheap and Chinesey and a bit plasticky and bits fall off them sometimes. Not all of them, but some of the lures. The rods were always all right. I've had Savage Gear rods before, and they always were a decent price. They always seem to last well, and yeah. And we're getting a few here. W3.
Westing's up out there, so
yeah, Westing's a lot of Westing lads. Yeah.
Ewan from Mr. Blue Pike Hunters has giving Weston a big up as well. Yeah.
Loads of lads liking Weston lately.
I know. I see Adam in it that Fisher's came to Sweden with us. Adam Seeley, he loves his Weston stuff, doesn't he? So they make good rods. Simple as that.
Don Fishing, cheaper option if you want one, a cheaper option there. Don catches quite a few fish. He gets out fishing more than I do, so probably give it a good test. And have you using that at a minute, Dom? Is that one when you had your big fish on? Dom had a slightly large pike not too long ago. Um, 53 people. Crazy. 53 people bored, locked in their houses.
We know better to do than listen to us.
Yeah, no. Stuart, we're on about jerkbait rods. Give it a rest.
Says bloke who's just buying a new jerkbait rod, by the way, Stu.
Isn't it? Yeah. Stu, we need to go. We keep saying we're going to do this fly fishing thing, and we'll have to go do it at some point. I'll have to. I've done a little bit of fly fishing before, not much, so I'll take you out and show you how to catch some fish on your little wafty things.
We're doing fly v jerk Yorkshire style as well, aren't we? At some point.
Yeah, we are. We're going to get it. Wait, so if we get this up, lockdown that helps us. But if we get this up to fly versus jerk Yorkshire style, then you're going to see some proper jerking.
We'll invite some foreigners from down south, aren't we?
Yeah, mate. Definitely.
Some brummies and that.
I guess you can, because a lot of the newer rods, like by Weston and stuff, they're not the old poker style rods. So I'd say so. So I'm sure lads that's using them now are enjoying them a bit more. So
yeah, I think probably worth just asking whichever rod that you fancy, and just asking question on one of the pages on Facebook, and I think they'll be same. There'll be different rods, and I'm not sure between W4s and stuff like that, but somebody will know.
And the thing I'll say about choosing your rod is, like, say, go ask the question that you've asked here, go ask elsewhere and see what people come up with. But if you leave it too long, you'll get too many opinions, too many options, and Ed will get into a shed. So just look at a couple and go, I like that one. That's got pink whipping. I don't like pink. That one's got green. It matches my reel, and just go, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. They're both similar price. I like the look of that one, and just go for it, because you can go all day looking at rods, and it's ridiculous, isn't it? There's that many rods out there. But I think the Weston rods are ones that a lot of lads at the minute are buying. Not only they're buying one, they're buying a second one. They're buying a different model because they've enjoyed the first one so much. So I think that's a good option to go for. I've not used them myself, so I can't really say.
Like Dom's saying there, you can often fish heavier on a rod than what it's stated anyway. I think casting weight on that Dave Lum rod of mine is 3 ounce or something like that, and it'll lob at least 5.
I think it's part of fishing, isn't it, Stephen? Pike fishing, if you're not going to get a hook in your hand, well, you're going to get it at some point.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Cut by teeth, and I've had a couple of times. There's one of my older videos. Is on my video? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's one of my old videos. I can't remember now. I got a hook in my hand, and I've done it before. Where I had like I don't know what I think it was like a 17. I was just unhooking it, and it just twitched its head a little bit, and went straight in my hand, and I had to quickly grab cutters and cut it off before the 17 started rolling about on the floor. And like I say, it happens. I've had it where I've gone to chin a pike on river, and hook's gone in and come straight back out in one clean motion. I'm like, oh, that was good. But I get Neil got cut last time out. He got quite a few cuts. I get more cuts from pike teeth than I do hooks in my hand. But I think I'm due one. I'm due one at some point. Yeah, that's why I might have to go back to get some decent Nipex cutters for next time it happens.
That were teeth. I did tips of my fingers, didn't I? They've only just healed up properly, to be fair. They were teeth. They're just when they start, you've got a good hold of them, and they start thrashing about, and next minute you've got a tooth in your finger, and it just takes ages to stop bleeding. Worst one I had with a hook, though, bit of a schoolboy error I had when somebody helps you to unhook a fish. So you've got odd at fish and they come in with tool to try and hook it, and feel's not there, is it? If you know what I mean, you kind of, do you know, it's worst thing, and he just kind of pushed it and it flipped, and then I ended up with this hook stuck in palm of my hand. But again, that sort of schoolboy error was letting somebody else unhook it while I had odd at fish, because you ain't got the same sort of feel and same control over what's happening. So
how did you last unhooking fish go?
What, when I let me send him bollocks? Right, do it won't good.
I mean, I helped.
You did, yeah. After you stopped laughing, you did. Yeah. No, it happens, doesn't it? You know, the big fish and the thrash about and the big hooks flying about, and you do get nipped up from time to time.
Yeah. So all these kind of things, moon phasers, high, low pressure, and all this. I've got no theories at all. I've got no studies. I've not got anything with them. However, a couple of times, maybe over the last 12 months, I've probably got up in the morning and gone to work or something, and then spotted a big bright full moon, and then I've gone fishing that day and I've caught a couple of nice fish. Or we've been out recently and the same thing. I've seen a big moon and caught a fish. And the last fish, excuse me, last fish I had that were that 24-12. That were that's one of them days where it's a big full moon, and I'm like. Yeah, so it must got me attention. I won't say I'm sat studying it, and I've got no but like I say, over the last year, I've noticed a few times I've done all right when it went big moon, and then in fact, yesterday I looked up and there were a big moon. I'm like, cheers for that, man. Yeah, so I did actually think, I got to be pike fishing, but yeah, it's a bit warm now. But
I mean, we fish when we can, don't we? A lot. We're not, we're not sort of professionals that go whenever best conditions are, all like that. Sometimes we have to go on Saturday because we're watching rugby on Sunday or whatever. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Paul says, I was going to mention that trip. Full moon, day before a big storm, and we had a really good day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not just that one fish. We caught a lot of fish. We caught a lot of doubles that day as well. So there's got to be something in it. What it is, I don't know, but there's something in it.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Where's it gone?
Oh, that one. Yeah, it's actually, you were asking me about that colour, weren't you? It's a really good colour, and I've done all right on it, to be fair. I've never been a massive buster jerk fan. I know Paul's fished them for a long time, but that was the first buster jerk that I bought, and I bought it to take to Sweden, and I've done all right with it, to be fair. It does all right. It catches a few fish when no one else does, so cheers for that, mate.
Cheap plastic crap. Yeah, but out of the buster jerks.
They do a job, don't they?
Yeah, mate. Aye. This is a tough one to answer. So, what's your experience of Chew Valley so far, Neil? How many times have you fished it?
Twice.
Right. So I fished it twice. So we're really not the best people to ask on this one.
Now ask me how many pike I've caught on Chew Valley. I think that's one.
Yeah.
We had two totally different days on Chew. We had one day that were absolutely blowing a gale, and we fished long and hard on that day. And I caught one 5-pound rainbow trout on a massive pike soft low. And then next day we were total opposite. Sun were out, it was flat calm. And we did a bit of dead bait, and I had a low double, and then I lost a fish, and that's about as good as it got. Losing a fish on Chew though is a nightmare. I don't recommend doing that because it plays with your head.
Yeah, I've fished it on pike fly fishing, so that were fun. I went my first time fly fishing, so I caught a pike, so I'm happy I caught a pike. And the second time I fished it, I low fished it. I think I can't remember exactly, but I probably got about 6 pike that day, but they were all small pike, nothing of any size. The day I were on, everybody were low fishing. The day I were on, I can't remember exactly, but there was something like 330s caught. In fact, it might have even been 330s on one boat, to be honest, and there might have been a fourth one if I remember. I can't remember. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but so they were there. And I think the biggest thing I learned was I went to Chew, and I didn't know names of banks. I didn't know names of bays. I didn't know areas to fish. I didn't know anything. I just went and fished it, and whatever happened, and I caught fish. And I was like, oh yeah, and it was like kind of doing my own work kind of thing, and finding my own areas and stuff. I think if you go in whatever method you use, I think your best thing is to get on the internet and see what you can find out from lads that have fished it, see who's giving anything away, find out about which areas are catching fish on, because like I said, that day I was there, the fish all came from the same spot, and it was the spot was so productive that actually they got somebody else came over and caught a big fish on that spot because that's where they were. And so I think, look, they caught them on those. I think it's more about knowing where to fish. It's not a massive place.
No,
it's not a really massive place, but it's still easy to fish all day and not fishing right spot. So, yeah, I'd say fish with which method you feel most confident with, which whenever you know you're doing right. So then at least when you come away, you're like, well, I've done what I can, and I'm not fishing. But don't fish lows if you're not competent with lows, and don't fish baits if you're not confident with baits, because if you're doing it wrong, yeah, you're going to come away down on yourself and what you did out here. Yeah, but lows. Like Stu says, it only counts on lows.
Not quite sure that's exactly what he said, but we'll go with it.
No.
This is interesting. I think this fly versus jerk, first season that they fished with barbless hooks, wasn't it? And they all lost a fair few fish. So personally, I always use barbed. Always have done, unless I'm not allowed to use barbed. So that's about it for me. Really, I don't know.
I always kind of thought that, especially if we're using bigger lures, that I needed a barb to help. Especially when the pike jumps and thrashes its head about and stuff like that. That you might lose a fish. But I have spoken to guys who fish, barbless, and they've gone, no, you don't lose fish. But I've not given enough go. I think it's Chew barbless. I can't remember. I fished somewhere where it's been barbless and I did okay. I caught fish. I can't know if it was Chew or somewhere else, but.
Hang on, bear with me.
No, well, anyway, that's kind of how it goes. Rainbows, they're a bit stupid, rainbow trout. They even catch one big jerk bait, so it's just crazy. They're just mental fish, but yeah, at least you caught some fish. But it's nice that you're hoping that when that bait rod goes, at a 16 is a good fish. It's just sometimes come away from Chew. If you caught something at 16 pound, you're like, oh, but if you've got a Remy up to 16 pound, that's a beast. So I'll just look through some questions. What we got? There's any questions I've missed?
I think if anybody's got all that they do particularly want answering, sort of tips and tactics wise, they can send them through, can't they?
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of video on them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's what we've been trying to do.
As most of you, or some of you have probably seen, I'm guessing you guys that are on now are probably guys that's keeping up with everything that's happening. But we've got quite a lot of videos coming through over the next month, I'd say at least. Every 2 or 3 days there'll be a video coming. Like I said, there's no fishing in because we can't get out fishing, but it's a bit of all sorts of tips. I've done some videos. Neil's done some videos. We've got a couple of other people on board who's helping out as well. It's going back to his Chew. Dermot Ogle, he actually had a 30, I think it was a 33 or 34 that day when I fished there. He's done a little piece for me. He's done a video. He might do some more if he gets a chance. A couple of fly guys are on here asking and mentioning about it. Martin Smith at MS Custom Flies. He's done me a couple of videos, and they're quite good actually. All lads have got in that. The people that don't make YouTube videos, and I just kind of said to him, "Can you just do something?" And yeah, the great little video. So we've got plenty to look forward to. I've got a few more ideas to make. Something if there's something you want to, answering or a closer look at something, let us know and we'll try and knock it off.
Yeah.
As long as I can do it in my garden or my garage.
We're not doing bad so far.
No. So, have we missed any questions, Neil?
I don't think so. I'll have a scan through.
Yeah. It's too much. Can I just say there's too much fly fishing talk on here? He's like, are you all something wrong with it all or what? Stu, I blame Stu.
Yeah, it's all since he came on, isn't it?
It hasn't it? Yeah, it's totally changed. Get your own channel anyway, Stu. Get your own channel. Talk fly fishing. They missed me.
Can't see how.
Well, that's just pike fishing, isn't it? They're just ridiculous. I think most of them are quite savage, I would take. I think it's just sometimes depends what rod you've got on. If it's underwater, you don't always see it. But I think I always imagine you get some takes that are delicate, but a lot of them are just throw yourself at it. But
yeah,
I think the craziest one.
Mm.
We have them a few times, especially when you fish river at back end of season. The pike can tend to be rammed into a swim and tend to. A couple of them similar to what I'm going to say is where Neil had, where he got hits right in the edge and fish end up on bank because they're that close. I've had a few times when they've actually took a lure and they've come up the into like 2 and 3 inch of water and taken a lure. It's just crazy, craziest. But
you get really spectacular ones on surface lures, don't you? Where they come out of water and stuff like that. And I don't. The hardest ones to hit are the ones that hit right in front of you, where they come last minute and charge in and smash it right underneath your rod tip.
Yeah,
they're all the hardest ones. But craziest, I don't know. We had a couple jumping boat, haven't we, from time to time, but that tends to be after they've hit. It's not really on it, but they hit it and then you get them to the side of the boat and they jump into the boat. So that's a bit mad. No, surface takes it'd be mine. They're best.
Yeah, they're good. Blake, Windermere. It's a bit big, isn't
it?
Yeah. I've only fished it a couple of times, and I think I might have even filmed it every time I fished it. I might have actually filmed it, so you might actually, if you've seen my old videos, you might see exactly how I got on. So not fantastic, but I've heard, I hear it's not as good these days as it used to be, but from a lot of guys. But that's the same with most places. But there's still some big fish in there somewhere. Last time I fished it, I did see a big fish in one of, I don't know what bay it was, but one of the bays, and it clear water, and it followed them like that. It was a big fish, a proper meaty thing. But I didn't catch it. And we caught some fish, but not a lot. But I need to go back to this because it's. When I fished it, I didn't know I fished river pike, as obviously name gives. I fish rivers mostly, and I've not fished lakes, so I didn't know much about it. But not saying I'm an expert now, but I've got a few more ideas and bit more knowledge to go with. So
it's another one where you need to do your own work a little bit in it, and find out where you need to be. Yeah. I've only fished it twice, I think, myself, so not caught out with any massive size on it, apart from a fedox trout. I had a massive fedox off it. That was trolling a depth raider. So other than that, no big pike really.
Yeah. Going back to the fish finder question, I think it helped having a decent fish finder so you can get to understand what contours are, map it out and all that kind of thing, and what your depths are. Some really deep water on that place, but understanding, I've got a bit. Oh, nice. I've got a bit of understanding about how fish, how bait fish congregate in certain spots on places like that, and so I'd like to go back and give it another go. When I'll do it, I don't know. I'll have to I keep saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it's having time to do it all, isn't it? But yeah. Have you done much yourself on Eric the King? Have you had much? So I get a few people who have seen me Windermere videos and they'll message me, and some lads have had a bit of success, but most people struggle with it. It's a big old water, so.
Is that? Yeah, it's one of them that you could spend years on, innit? You could spend years and years and years just sitting in that one place. But it's one of them. It's also one of them meccas, innit? One of them places that you want to tick off list and say, I've fished Windy, I've caught pike on Windy. It's a stunning place to fish, but it can be hard work. But I think if you get top side of it and learn it, it's worth effort, I think.
Yep. So, maintenance on reels and me.
Go on, tell us about how you service your reel after you got back from Sweden.
Oh, I just went fishing. So I don't bother. So I got my Komodos quite a few years ago, and I had the original old style Akuma Komodo 364, the kind of greeny colour. Out of the new ones are grey. That's kind of a giveaway. Is that all? I don't think they changed more than that, did they? Yeah, I think the new ones are not as good, I've been told. But the old Komodo, fished it for years, chucked it in mud, all that kind of thing. Never serviced it. One day I decided to service it. I couldn't get screws out. So it got to the point where it started making noises. So I just wound it a bit harder and dip it in water sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I bought the BFT Instinct X7s. As I fished in Sweden with Gary Benny's, and it was tackle basically, and it had them reels. I'm like, oh, they're good, and it got me some of those reels, and I fished with those for a couple of years. Took them to Sweden and back. Never cleaned them again, because if you clean them, you end up with parts that you didn't. There's bits missing that they just sort of sat on the table, so I don't clean them. And then I managed to like kind of break my BFT Instincts. Handle's a bit wobbly, so I've then dug my Akuma Komodos back out after been sat in a box for 2 years. After never ever been serviced, and it still works perfect. So yeah, bang on, dead rate. I don't service them. Kind of just buy a new reel. That's why I don't buy these really fancy ones that are expensive. But I mean, when I bought the Komodo at 150, then suddenly went up to 200 quid. 200 quid, and I'm like, yeah.
That because you used it?
That's exactly because I didn't want to say it, but yeah, it's because I used it. Yeah.
I mean, I've used Shimano's for a long time, as you probably might have seen on some of the stuff that I've done with Paul. And the same, I very rarely service them. I picked up a few cheaper ones on eBay and then sort of took them to bits because they weren't working properly. And like Paul said, there's always a bit left at end. That's worrying thing. I'm no real mechanic, that's for sure. But yeah, a drop of oil or a clean here and there, it never does them any harm.
Do you know what I do when I take things like reels apart? So you've got a reel and you look at it and you look around and you're like, all right, so there's 3 screws holding it together, right? There's just 3 screws. So you undo 3 screws and it still won't come apart. And I'm like, right, what am I missing? So I check and I can't see another screw anywhere. Nothing's holding it in place, anything like that. So I'm like, right, well, I'll just have to try and force it apart. So at the point that I force it apart, something cracks and breaks, and there was something else that I didn't see that I've not spotted. I don't know how, because I've been looking at it for like an hour, and that breaks, and then it never goes back together again. So I'm like, I ain't doing it anymore. So that's why I never bother. That's one of the other reasons. PB perch, what's yours, Neil?
4 pound.
Whose is bigger? Oh, you. Yeah, but it only says 4. I know it's bigger. How many ounces in a pound?
I don't know. 16 in it.
16. So I keep catching. I've had. I don't know if is it free perch at £3.15.
Yeah.
I think I'm just only Stangler.
I've had a couple of three.
I can't get 4s
and 310s as well. So
yeah, 3.15 mine. Can't beat the 4, but we don't do enough perch fishing, do we? We don't know. We do a lot of perch fishing, and some of it we mess about just with cranks and stuff, just catching fish or jigging fish. We don't really target the bigger fish. I mean, we've missed it again this year. We probably really ought to been going targeting the bigger perch. We've not been, and yeah. A lot of people fishing for perch these days.
I went through a phase where I was just mad for big perch. Chasing my first three, then pushing it on and trying to get bigger threes. And then I caught that fall, and in a way, it kind of just sort of stopped me dead in my tracks, really. It was out of blue, wasn't expected to catch it. Although I was fishing for big perch that day, but never expected to catch out as big as that. And it kind of sort of took gloss off it, really.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think I sent you a picture.
So can you imagine this? I were at work and Neil were out fishing, and he sent me a picture. In fact, I think it was the way around. I think so. Eddie Woodchucker were out fishing, and he sent me a picture of a 20, and I were at work. And then Neil sent me a picture of a 4-pound 1 ounce perch, and I were at work. Both on the same day, and I'm like, you can all get stuffed.
The funny that day I had another big three. I think it was a 3/8 or something like that. I just all in the same area, and then I lost another one. And I just hope that the one that I lost were a pike, because it will go in. And if that were another perch, that would have been another really big perch.
Yeah.
So all in the same area, within 10 minutes of each other. And I caught 4, and I just put my rod down. It was like, well, that's that then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Typical kind of question, this, Jamie, that I get asked a lot. When you've quickly look, he's got a 201 shimmy. So Neil's, have you got a 201, Neil?
Yeah, I've got 5.
Yeah, because you need 5, don't you?
Yeah.
So go for it, Neil.
No, that's a really good size bait caster. I've got 201s that I fish up to 65 pound on. That's one of Japanese ones. That's a slow retrieve one that I fish jerk baits on. And I've got some old bantams and stuff like that. 201s that I go down to sort of 30 pound line on, and fish jig flies and stuff like that. I've actually got ceramic bearings in a couple of them, just so that they'll flick slightly smaller lures out, so I can fish right down on my 201s. Probably won't go much lower than sort of 30 pound line on that. I've got a Scorpion, which is a Japanese Corrado. That's a 1500 series that I fish on my lighter stuff down to sort of perch sort of size lures. But for general pike fishing, 201's a good size. I'd be happy fishing anywhere between sort of 4-inch up to 6-inch on a 201 size lure. So I think it's a good size. Just looking at question, rod size and weight for all round lure fishing. Yeah, 201, probably 30 to 60 gram kind of rod, or maybe a little bit heavier. If you're going to be fishing some heavier jerk baits, maybe go up to 3 ounce, go up to sort of 80, 90 gram. But your 201 will still be good for that.
Short answer is no. But it's a place I want to go. I keep saying I'm going to do, and so I've actually got a couple of invites to go up there. I've just not got around to sorting it. But I've got a boat now, as I mentioned before. I've got my own boat, and I've kind of gone to myself, right, this will last year. So next year, when it comes to something like let's say like an Easter bank holiday, finish work. I mean, if I imagine finishing at 12 o'clock on Thursday tomorrow, and I said my plan was to finish work at like 12 o'clock tomorrow and jump in car and drive up to Scotland with my boat on back and a tent and just go somewhere and fish Scotland and just have a go on my own, not with anybody, not with with somebody else, just fish it, not bothered about catching, just fish it. And then, like I say, we're in lockdown, so that's not happened. That was my plan. It's ace, isn't it? Well, it wouldn't have been this Easter, this bank holiday, because I would have been coming back from Sweden, so that's another plan that's been scuppered. Just reminding myself of that one.
Why did you have to mention that again? I thought we weren't mentioning that.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I want to fish Scotland just because it's Scotland, just such a stunning place. I just want to fish it. All the places, the big name. I remember looking at some of my granddad's old books years ago, all these big locks and that, and seeing these big monstrous pike that these old guys have got in photos. So I've always wanted to fish it, just never done it, just because it's a long way. It's a long way. got to give him a shout out, Jim Backman, Swedish buddy.
Evening.
Shout out to Jim Backman. Yeah, if you're on Facebook and Instagram and all these places, what they call them? Oh God, this is how I'm nice with names of laws. Ola laws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, them ones. Fish with Jim up north of England. He came over and wanted to sample a bit of English fishing, and of course river were closed, so I got in touch with Catherine. Got in touch with Sean Ding, and I said, "Oh, do us a favour, take us out and let him sample a bit of English fishing." And like I say, he loved it. We didn't catch many fish. It was just one time. It was bright blue. Excuses here to come. Bright blue sky and flat calm, but yeah, enjoyed it. So good lad is Jim. He had some big fish this year actually in Sweden. I know, mentioning Sweden again. Let's go on to something else.
Stop talking about Sweden. So we're going to mention Sweden again now. We bought a load of hooks for Sweden, didn't we? We bought a load of new hooks.
Yeah.
Problem with Sweden is when you're fishing at archipelago, it does your hooks still go rusty, your split rings go rusty, and stuff like that. So we actually bought, I think they were VMC permanent steels, weren't they, Paul?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But to be honest, fishing over here, I don't, on large loads, I don't tend to change my hooks. Do you know how much hooks cost? They might cost 40 pence. 40 or 50 pence for an hook, and I am not cutting it off to put another one on. No way. Bend it back, refile it, and everything. No, I don't really tend to change hooks. I tend to leave them, unless sometimes I've bought some American like musky, like jerkbaits and stuff, and they've come on with some like ridiculously like meaty hooks that they're more like anchors than hooks, and that's why I've just swapped them for. I used to buy the Eagle Claws just because it was easier to buy a pack of Eagle Claws off Chico, and the Eagle Claws were all right, but they're actually a little bit meaty and a bit too monstrous sometimes. But what we call them, the owner hooks, owner ST36 is it? They're not a bad hook, but they tend to be daft prices, so you get something similar to those kind of ones. They're easy.
I always use owners for bait fishing.
Yeah.
But I've pretty much always used Eagle Claws as well for low fishing.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah, I've got two. I've got two. One I've lent off of somebody. You just reminded me I need to take him back. And then the one I've bought is it's a bazooka. They're called the bazooka rod tubes. And they're all right, to be honest, apart from the one we've got came back damaged because the airport threw them about. So don't spend loads of money on it because the airports don't look after them all. But yeah, the big bazooka tubes, you can sometimes people are selling them second hand for 40 or 50 quid, but they're not much more to buy. So well worth it. If you're going abroad, you can chuck everything. We put loads in it as well, don't we? And
the thing is, you pay for that. I think it's about 30 quid a trip in it for case. But you get the same weight as that as what you get in a case. So you get like your 20 kilos or whatever. So we just ram it full of loads. We put 3 or 4 rods in it and ram it full of loads because you're never going to get one of them up to 20 kilograms. So they're coming at about 12 kg when we've finished stuffing loads of big loads in it.
Cheers for coming, John.
Cheers, mate. Keep safe, mate. Look after yourself.
Yeah, we have plenty of people on today. We're probably starting to board a few people now. I think Neil said to me, "Oh, we'll do an hour." And I said, I bet you now, I bet it'll go longer than that because it just flies by. Yeah. Start talking and what we got?
River pike hoodies.
Where's that one gone? Yes.
Again, that's funny. You're having that one, mate.
that was my other boat. My first boat I bought. So I bought a boat off this chap here. We can't disclose his name for what is it? Data privacy and what's it called these days? Where you got cookies and all that kind of thing. Yeah, but I bought a boat off a chap. Got me boat in. That boat's now moved on again. It's doing its rounds, but it's got people fishing.
Yeah.
I ain't got no river pike roadies. I'll have to do some maybe for later on in the year. Get some made and get them on shop again. You can buy river pike roadies by clicking on links below YouTube videos, by the way. But we're not from my shop. We're just one of these shops that actually do it for you. But I'll try and get some good ones made. Yeah.
No comments.
Right, we're on his way. Up in the car. Do you think police will stop us if we go to Scotland now? What if I print a letter out? I've got some letters from work that say I'm a key worker.
I've got one as well, so
yeah, and we'll just print them out and just say we're going up Scotland.
Well,
Key working up Scotland.
braid. We've got another video coming on braid as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I've used Power Pro for years and years. In every strength really, I've had it from 10 up to 80. Never had a problem with Power Pro. For my lighter stuff, I do use a Japanese braid called Sunline XP. I find that really good in lighter breaking strains. And then recently I've been using Nano X that Paul got me. Some Nano X, £80, and that's really good. It's as good as Power Pro, if not better. It's really, really strong stuff. I've had that on for about a year now, so that's been good. I don't like the spider wire and stuff like that. I'm not into that one.
No, I don't. Like I say, I used to always use Power Pro. Just used to always use a Power Pro, and I've had it on. In fact, one of my reels has still got Power Pro on from years ago, and I'm kind of attached to it now. I don't want to change it because I probably had it about 7 years.
Is that used to be red? But it's pink.
Yeah, it's fine. It's got a few years in it yet. But like I said, the Nano X that Neil mentioned, I've been using my Nano X from American Tackle, and Jovan in Sweden put me onto it more than American Tackle, and he was like, he was using the heavier stuff, £130 stuff, and it was. I don't think you can get that now, but yeah, and it was awesome stuff. So I'm like, I'll give it a go. And like I said, I've used that. So that's on a couple of my BFT reels and my other Komodos going on, I think. And it's been really good. But there's that many braids out there. It gets a bit complicated, but I think some of them are a bit gimmicky out there with fancy names and stuff. But Power Pro were always good, wasn't it? Power Pro were always good. It never failed, did it? It wasn't the prettiest. It was, probably people look at diameters and all this lot of stuff these days. It probably wasn't the thinnest diameter stuff, but Nano X, give that a go. Good stuff, but our Power Pro. Don't get the cheap Chinese version.
No.
Anybody else answer this one? Like I said, Chico's Lowe's used to get me Eagle Claws from, but I've not bought Eagle Claws for a bit.
Joe's put that on.
Yeah.
But no, I hadn't bought it for a while.
No, I mean, I've said to Neil, this is a personal thing between me and Neil. I've got a load of hooks that I got from a supplier, and I'm testing them out. So maybe in a few months I can tell you, but at a minute I can't test them because I can't go fishing, and I've not even tested them, Steve, to bend or anything. But yeah, hopefully I'll get some for you by winter, Cameron. So if you don't really need them just yet, just wait a bit and I'll get you some. But yeah, it depends if they're any good or not. I've got to test it out. Myself. Cameron buys stuff from my shop, and I'm only selling stuff if it's any good. So I've got a few bits of stuff that I'm testing at the minute, but testing is basically me sat in kitchen talking to you on webcam because I can't go fishing.
Do you want to answer Catherine's question?
Yeah. Exactly. How do I manage to make a profit? I'm just too much of a nice person. I put all this work in and I just give things away free. I mean, Sean's got loads off me for a £5. In fact, I'll probably give him some as well. I'll give him most of them for now. He hardly spend. And in fact, I think when you're working, Catherine, he's not got anything delivered to his house while you're at work either. So I think you're fine.
Is she basically telling you that you're too cheap and you need to put your prices up there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I don't buy many lures. Neil buys loads of lures. I don't really buy any, so I
You've got a
have to have that
shop. You don't
problem.
need to buy them.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah, but no, but you're always buying stuff. Does your missus know that you're buying loads of lures?
No. Well,
So
she does because there's always stuff turning up, so it kind of gives it away a bit.
Yeah,
I'm not always in.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Where's she sat next to you?
No, she's not. But you never know when she's gonna. I don't think there's not really an hard and fast rule, is there?
Nope.
If you come to a spot, especially if you're fishing off a bank and you're moving, regular, you might leave the same lure on and you might fish a spot out with that lure and then move on. Especially if it's a lure you've got a lot of confidence in, it's fishing at right depth, it's it's getting down to where you think the fish are going to be. There's other days where you'll chop and change because you're not really sure. If you're catching on a venue and you're catching on a particular lure, then there's not really a lot of reason to change it.
No.
If you're searching and you're struggling, then you'll change more often. Often, me and Paul, if we're not catching, we'll have different lures on, and then if one of us starts catching, we'll switch to the same lure and we'll both fish the same lure if it's doing business. Particularly trolling, we do a lot of trolling, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, go back to me comment a bit ago about just like having like 5 lures and when you go fishing, just have 5 lures that do something different. 5 lures that you've got some confidence in. So if we're talking pike fishing, then I don't know, let's pick 5. Buster jerk, can't see my hand. Buster jerk, squirrely bait, gator gun because of the softy, savvy gear, low rider, and a spinner bait. So you've got 5 different things there that do different stuff. You can pick total different if you want, but 5 different. They all do something different. They're 5 lures that I know I'll catch fish on. I know they work. I know that they do what they're supposed to do. Catch fish. So I just kind of match those to the water I'm fishing, and like I said, if you got confidence that the catch fish, confident how to use them properly, just give them a go. And there's many times I'll tell you what I'll often do. I'll have I don't know. I'll have a cast with each of those 5 lures, maybe like 10 casts with each lure, and then I'll just leave one of them on. I'll just stick with a squirrely bait, for example, and just stick that on, and then keep moving swim more than changing lures. I'll probably change lures more times if I've caught fish in a swim and I think there's a chance of catching some more. I might then think, well, let's try doing something different. So like switching from a squirrely bait to a gator gun, so it's nice and something total different. So that's kind of what I'll do. But yeah,
I mean, on days when it's really hard and you're having to really grind it out, you want something on that you've got a lot of confidence in. When we were in Sweden in October, it were tough, wasn't it? It were really, really tough. And that's what it was. And it was stick with same lure and just keep moving and try and find fish rather than chopping and changing your lure. And I will casting with same rubber probably all day because I know it works and I know it works in them conditions. And I'm fishing at right depth. And I know that it's worked in past, so what's point in changing and chopping and changing all the time and wasting time? We just weren't in the right place. It was as simple as that.
Yep. So a few years ago, I'd seen the Savage Gear folding net, and then I got sent the BFT. I got it sent free. I got the BFT net sent, and I could make a comparison. And the BFT net seemed better made. So it seemed sturdier. The Savage Gear seemed like got a bit of wobble to it. The BFT net seemed a lot sturdier, and just seemed a lot better made. And then roll forward 2 years, and I've broke my BFT net, and the locking pin that goes on that when you open it up, that broke off it, and it's not lasted as long as I thought it would. To be fair, I do abuse them. I do stand on them. I do knock trees down with them, and brambles, I should say, and stuff like that with them. And I've then looked at getting a new BFT net, and they're just ridiculous price to it. It's something like 80 or 90 quid for the BFT net now. So I bought a Savage Gear one for 30 quid or something, and it seems a little bit flimsier, not as strong. Everything clicks into place, it's not as sturdy, but it seems bang on. If it lasts me 2 years, then it's done exactly the same as BFT net, and but for a cheaper price. So yeah, a Savage Gear net looks all right. Like I said, the BFT net looks look good, but ridiculous money. And I think we're taking. And as kids gone to bed, I think you're taking piss with price, to be honest. Again, because so I used it once, so they put price up, must be. But yeah, we're taking piss with that price. So buy a Savage Gear net for 30 quid, and if it breaks in a few years' time, buy another. That's my advice.
I've had the same net for about 10 years. I've got a Spro big fish net. I don't even think they make them anymore. But that's just it don't fold. It's just a big round net. I've had it for ages, and it does what I want it to do. And I don't see it pointing. It's probably dropping to bits, to be fair. I don't see it pointing changing. Like Paul says, it's that difficult getting another one that stands the test of time that it's probably better off sticking with what I've got.
Yeah.
I'm getting jokes now.
I know, I've just no, do you know why you don't fish? You don't fish in rain because fish don't like getting wet.
That's it.
That's true. That
I don't like getting wet. That's why I don't fish in rain.
Yeah. I think earlier on Neil mentioned in a comment. He said we tend to go fishing when we've got to go fishing. So if it's raining, it's raining. If it's sunny, it's sunny, and we just go whatever. So we make most of whatever conditions it is. If it's raining, try and get waterproof gear on, and hopefully you might catch some fish, and it'll stop you from coming home saying, "Why did I go fishing in rain?" But yeah, I've had caught fishing days in rain. I've had blanks in rain, so I don't really have anything major with it. The only thing I have noticed is sometimes after the rain, it can trigger a bit of a feeding frenzy, feeding spell or frenzy, whatever. Where I don't know. I wonder sometimes if it's the noise of the rain. It's got loads of noise of the water splashing, and then all of a sudden it stops and it just wakes them up or something. I don't know. No theories on it, but yeah, I'll go fishing in rain.
Yeah.
Bit of rain.
Like I said, we fish when we can, don't we?
Wash the slime off my suit, so it's good. Neil, any thoughts?
I think maybe lost in translation a little bit from Yorkshire to normal language, but it's more on strike that the roll, because they're like a tube shape. When the fish hits them, they tend to roll over, and I do think you struggle with hookups on them. They don't particularly roll on retrieve. They just they've got a nice, one of the easiest jerk baits that you'll ever work. Mantas are dead easy, but it does roll when you get a take, and it can just spin round. And I do tend to find that I don't hook up brilliantly on mantas, apart from that day, and we did all right on that day. But I mean, they were hitting every jerkbait, weren't we, on that day? We just dropped on a really good jerkbait day. And when you drop on days,
awesome, weren't we?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying? We were just awesome.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So hard 4 players, Savage Gear hard 4 players. So the Savage Gear decided years ago to get rid of Rainbow Trout hard 4 player, which were just stupid, and have since decided to change the hard 4 player to a new version. I guess it's version 2, and I've got one myself, and I fished it once, didn't catch anything, and I'm going to do it. I think Dom's done it actually. I think Dom's done one. The new version versus the old version, and I basically went, "This is shit," so I didn't use it, and it's starting me draw. And yeah, you can still pick some up on eBay. Somebody messaged me over there that the lowriders, you can't seem to buy a Savage Gear original lowrider anywhere, so he's bought a few off eBay, but there's not many of them left now. So no, I think, like I said, Savage Gear's messed up. That was one of the lows that actually worked. The original 4 players, well, bang on.
To be honest, I can't say I was ever a big fan, but I know Paul caught a lot of fish on them over years. I think I've still got one. I've got the one in pike where it says pike on the side of it. And I've got a smaller version that I use sometimes, but I've never caught out massive on them. But I know Paul's had loads of big fish on them. Most memorable fishing experience. Don't know.
Can't remember it.
Been that long.
God. I think one of my best more recent ones were if you've been watching river piker videos for a while and you saw my first trip to Sweden on, I don't know what day it was, but something like third day, we fished with Alexander Lexon, Gary Bennett, and Johnny Bobbler. If people know who these guys are, if you watch all Swedish stuff. So that itself were like a bit of a, I'm fishing with some like amazing guys, and we got on this we got on the the leech boat, the gator boat. That's just an awesome bit of kit. And then you get on that, and then there's these two boats going along this like narrow. It was like a bit like a canal, but it was a channel from one lake to another. And there were like a sunrise. It's on video. You'll see it. There's a sunrise, and there's these two boats just churning down this thing, and you're just like, this is just ridiculous. And that wasn't even fishing. We were just getting to spot, and that were ace. I mean, the rest of the day were fantastic. I spent it with, like saying, on Johnny Bobbler's boat, talking to a guy who just loved fishing, and he's caught some awesome fish in his years, and telling us stories about stuff. And to be honest, I didn't really fish properly. We just spent more time listening to what you were talking about, and like say that sunrise were just awesome. And like I say, I like all them sort of stuff about fishing. I remember those things better than sometimes my fishing. Most memorable like actual fishing moment. God, probably goes back to my PB from when I was a kid. A bit rubbish that I had no photographs, nobody there to share it with, but I were on my own. Again, that were a late evening. Sun were going down. It were all scenic and that. Where I came from, it wasn't like Sweden, but it was really scenic and it looked good. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was just this big fish came out of nowhere and just took this surface lure, and I had a big battle with it and struggled to land it and everything. My net wasn't big enough and all that kind of stuff. And that probably remembers one of the most memorable because it's a PB pike and I like my pike. So yeah.
I think funny thing about that is that the place where Paul caught that fish, I used to fish that same place when I was a kid. I didn't know Paul at the time. I've known Paul about 12 years, I think now. Is it Paul, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And we lived, going back to when we actually met, we lived about 2 miles away from each other and never bumped into each other. And then we got chatting on an internet forum, on chat room.
Can I butt in? Are you going to say your most memorable moment is meeting me?
No.
Oh.
It's just funny that we never bumped into each other. And then we got chatting on an internet forum, a fishing forum, by the way. And then within a week, we bumped into each other, didn't we, on River?
Yeah.
Which was really bizarre. But the place where Paul caught that big fish, I actually used to fish that place as well when I was a kid. Me and my pal who I fished with at the time, I'd won a 24 out at the same place on a sprat. But just funny that I know exactly where he caught that fish from, and we fished it ourselves when we were kids, but never bumped into Paul, and then can't get rid of him now.
So I think I did a video with Ardale a few years ago, and I might have even put it in a couple of other videos. And it was a great lure. So for what it did, the hard body and the tail, obviously that style bait works. I use the XL grubs these days. I used to use the Savage Gear reel little before that, and that style of lure, it works. So that is the only thing. What with the Savage Gear Ardale, I don't know if I fixed it, but they went through a spell where the hooks were breaking, so it wasn't through wired. So sometimes the pike were twisting on the hook and they were breaking the plastic, and basically you've got a lure that's no good. And I can remember quite a few years ago getting in touch with some of the guys at Savage Gear and says, "Oh look, I've had this issue, and I keep getting people saying to me after I made this video, oh my Ardale keeps breaking, like I was like as if I was a contact for them." So I just tried to get in touch with Savage Gear and say, "Look, this is what's happening," and then basically said, "Yeah, we make thousands of lures. If some of them break, we don't really care." So I was like, all right. So to be honest, I stopped using them. I've still got the Ardales in my drawer, and I've never used them since, just because I lost confidence that it's going to break. But the actual lure itself, works a treat. You know, I had some really good fish and some really good days with him. But yeah, if it's going to break on you, yeah, no good, is it?
And I never used hard eels. I used the real eels quite a bit. I used to like the really small ones; they were good. But yeah, never bothered with hard eels.
You've never been a savage gear fan, have you, really?
No, not really. I think when I first started jerkbaiting, I had a few of the, I think they were deviators and freestylers at the time.
Yeah.
And they were really hard, they were hard work. And then
yeah.
you sort of start buying sort of cobs and mantas and stuff, and they're just a totally different fishing experience. It's totally loads more pleasure in fishing them. And I just got rid of all of them and never really got back into savage gear lures. Like I said, real eels were all right. They weren't bad. I even tried sort of line through trout and stuff like that, but I couldn't get on with them either.
Yeah. I think it definitely does work, Scott. It's a good thing. Baiting a river up, get some baits chucked in, get some stinging, and pike will come, get used to feeding in that area, and especially if you're bait fishing, they're gonna pick up your baits. A lot of lads who fish, seriously like specimen anglers. That's what they do. That's what they'll sneak off to a certain part. They'll pre-bait up and get plenty of bait in, and they catch. Probably would work on those as well. You bring them into areas, so you can give it a go if you're into low fishing. But definitely, guys that bait fish, that's what they do. Dead baits out, they put some stinky baits in, and you catch some big fish that way. But it's just something I don't really do much. I tend to, if we have a bait session, it's just kind of let's just chuck some baits in. But if you want a serious effort, if you think there's a big fish in a certain spot, then give it a go. Or if you want to bring them to a spot.
I know Mick Brown's talked about doing it, and he used to do it quite a lot. A lot of pre-baiting and stuff like that. So it definitely worked. I mean, if you saw that last video that we did from last day of season, when I chucked that lamprey tail in and then one at fish we caught, coughed it up. So it definitely works.
Yeah. Jeremy's trying to start World War IV after we've had this Chinese battle. What do you think about using fluorocarbon for pike leaders? What's breaking strain and whatnot? So, roll back to River Pike 8 years ago, whatever. I'd have just said to you, stay away from fluorocarbon, just use wire, like steel leaders or titanium leaders. I'd have been using titanium. In fact, I've been using Chico's leaders at that point. And then I suddenly found myself talking to Swedish guys and mixing with Swedish guys, and they're just like, no, use this fluorocarbon. So I kind of went, well, let's give it a go and see what happens. I kept saying to people, don't use fluorocarbon, but I had nothing to base it on. So we've got some fluorocarbon. So it wasn't little tiny flimsy stuff. It was 1.25 or 1.27 fluorocarbon. So it was big stuff, and I think that's rated to about 150 £. So it's proper chunky stuff. And I used it. I got a one made for me. Went to Sweden by Gary Benny first, and I used that all year. I didn't even change it, and I probably didn't catch any pike. That's why. But yeah, I used it all year. I didn't change it. It never looked like it would even good. It got a couple of little tiny scuffs on it, but nothing major, nothing that worried me. And then I went back to Sweden, and Jovan Höglund from Catch Bigger, he made me another fluorocarbon trace, and I used that for another year, and that was exactly the same. So I'm happy to use fluorocarbon leaders. I've never used anything less than that. I've seen people using 80 £, whatever that is in diameter, 80 £, fluorocarbon and getting bitten off. I've heard stories of that, so I wouldn't go any lighter. But the big stuff we've used, we've had no issues. What not? Do you know? I don't know what not it was. It was basically, oh God, yeah, I'd have to Google that myself. I don't know what it is. Do you know why? Because when Gary Benny made me one, he put a swivel on it, so he used a Palomar knot. And when Jovan made me one, he didn't use a swivel, and he tied it on for me. And then I basically kept it on that reel for about 14 months and never took it off, so I never knew what knot it was. I did tie one on for Neil once, so I can remember how to do it, but I don't know what it's called. No idea. Yeah, just if you search on YouTube, somebody will cover it. That's your best bet. Somebody who knows what we're talking about. But yeah, fluorocarbon, just don't go light with it. go like when you're fishing for perch and things like that. Obviously, you're fishing for perch and that kind of stuff. You're fishing with little soft plastics and single up jig heads and stuff, and yeah, that's fine. But don't on pike fishing, go for 1.2 at least, 1.2 millimeter.
I think when we fished in Spain and when we fished in Sweden, I've gone with fluorocarbon. You sort of do what everybody does. That's what they do over there, and that's what they advise you to do. So
yeah.
But every time I've come back home, I've switched straight back to titanium. It's kind of frowned on by a lot of people over here, but I've got no evidence whatsoever to say that there'd have been any problem with fluorocarbon we're using. I just in this country, it's kind of frowned upon, so I'd stick with wire. I don't think there's a problem with it generally.
Tom Barron, favourite trout lures. I don't really fish lakes for trout. We fish kind of little small streams and stuff. So, but yeah, same kind of thing as you. I do catch on spinners, but same like you. I like to use hard lures. I prefer to use hard lures. I'll use softies sometimes, but not much. Spinners sometimes, but not much. But yeah, hard lures do work. If you can, little cranks, we love to chase them and that, and they're more fun to use, I find. So yeah.
I do use a few soft lures.
Yeah, those I like my little Salmo hornet. You can't go wrong with your Salmo hornet for trout fishing. Some of the ones I've been using more recently is I've been using the ugly ducking ones for quite a few years, but I've got some of those in my shop, so I'll be using them a bit more now because I've just got a shed load of them to play with. They used to use the jointed yogis, a little bit harder to get hold of, so I've now used the Ujka jointed minnow. But yeah, Salmos have got loads of little range of different ones. You can't beat Salmo for different type of trout lures. They've got loads. Salmo on it. It's ace.
Yeah, same really. Yeah. Little Salmos, little Rapalas, yogis, and I've got some little Spro super trout lures which are really good. But yeah, I do use some soft plastics. I use like 1-inch copy toes and some hand poured little tiny plastic lures on really light jig heads. They're quite good wear. I think if trout have seen a lot of hard lures, a lot of cranks, they shy off them a bit. But we did a bit of a comparison, didn't we, last year? And I don't think I caught any more fish apart from that one stretch, wasn't there? The one stretch that was like roadside that obviously got fished a lot more, and I'm catching a lot more on softies there, where they probably do see a lot of crankbaits. So it's like any type of low fishing rig. It's having that little bit of something different in your box that you can switch to if you need it.
So, Joe, if you just get rid of most of words on that and go to Musky Mania, that kind of answers your question. Honestly, the lures work. They do catch fish. So just I don't know what it is. They've got no quality control, and they're just. You'll find, like I say, you'll get a batch of baits and they're all bang on. You get a batch of magic makers, they're all bang on, and the next lot, they've all got holes in it. I got a batch once from a shop, and I spent ages putting epoxy on all hook hangers and just filling all the holes in because they were going to fill up with water. So spot it first. Don't get one full of water because then you've got a rusty bait that's no good, or a rusty magic maker. But yeah, they're shocking, but catch fish.
I was doing a bit of footage other day, and I was tank testing some lures, and I dropped a bird into tank, and it hung down and then started bubbling. There was just a stream of bubbles coming from hook eye. So it was just I think I need to do something with that one.
This is kind of similar to. Did you watch my video last night? I'm getting confused what videos have gone up, by the way, because I've got that many videos I've been editing. Yeah, I think last night were the small soft lures and jig heads. So we're talking about like using a 3-gram jig head will affect your little soft lure differently to using a 10-gram jig head. Exactly the same with an XL grub. So it's a big eel, big grub, and they're actually quite weighty on their own. They weigh quite a bit, but you can still fish in 20 foot of water with no weight on it. But you can also fish in 20 foot of water with a 15-gram jig head on it, and it's how you want to fish it. So if you put a 15-gram jig head on and then cast out as far as you can and let it sink virtually to the bottom, and when you wind it in, it'll stay virtually near the top bottom, you know, it might start to work its way up a little bit, but a little pause and it'll keep it down near riverbed or whatever. But you know, fish with half that or a 5 gram jig head or something, a 5 gram screw head, and it'll fish higher up in water, and you've got to work out what's right, because the pike can't always start on the bottom. You know, in winter sometimes they are sat on the bottom, but also, you know, you'll find them at 10-foot depth. And if you're fishing it with, let's say, a 15 gram jig head, and you're fishing that big eel on bottom, you've gone underneath pike and they've not really even seen it. So you've got to, that's where low fishing comes in, and have a few changes. You'll find there's some different ways of weighting to your harnesses and rigs and stuff. We can clip weights on and take them off and all that kind of thing. So they're quite handy to have. But I tend to just have a couple of flex head screws into different XL grubs, and I go with one with a like a 5 or even not any weight on, and I fish that, and then I'll fish one with deeper down. But try them both. Don't just fish one depth, because you will find that you'll be missing the fish. You anything else, Neil? Or?
No, just same really. I mean, I've started rigging my XL grubs now with swivels, and same way as I rig my big soft plastics up rather than a jig head. So, and like we are testing from some like clip-on weights a minute, aren't we? We're just trying stuff out with that. So yeah, whatever you need to get down, and it just depends. A different jig head will get you down at a different speed. So obviously, if you put a big lump of lead on front, it's going to drop like a rock. It's going to drop nose first. So if you want it to sink nice and slow, you want a bit lighter on and work your way down. If you're in moving water, like Paul said on his video yesterday, if you're in moving water, you're going to need a bit more lead on to get you down. Otherwise, it'll finish off, 10 meters down river to where you want it to be. So it just depends on where you're using it.
So your fluorocarbon leader and your titanium leaders are a bit different. So your fluorocarbon leader has got quite a thick diameter to it. So straight away your downside would, if you use a lot of jerk baits, the fluorocarbon leader's got a lot of drag in water, so it affects your jerk bait. So no, it wasn't better to use. But yes, it was better to use if you're using things like soft plastics. You'd always fish in Sweden. But when we were fishing in Sweden, we were fishing shallow, so we didn't want as low to sink too much. So the fluorocarbon leader helps you, stay shallow, like a foot depth. But the good thing about fluorocarbon was it were a longer trace. Most wire traces are like, let's say, 15-inch, and the fluorocarbon trace, it must be like knocking on 30-inch long. And if you have any pike rolling in there and stuff like that, you've got that protection before you braid. If you're rubbing across rocks and things when you're fishing rivers, you've got that bit of extra protection there with that. So the fluorocarbon were better for that. But like I say, rubbish for jerk baits. I've since made my own titanium trace, and I think we measured it something like 26-inch, Neil. So it's a lot longer. So that kind of covers the extra length kind of thing. So if a pike does roll in it or whatever, or you're rubbing against rocks. But yeah, they both got the pluses and minuses. But
I think it's worth mentioning as well that if you reweight any of your laws, like with your birds and stuff like that, we don't particularly take birds to Sweden for that reason, because most of us birds are weighted to use with a titanium trace, and then you put your fluorocarbon on, and it's totally different weighting, so your birds don't work like you want them to. So that's one of the downsides to them, I guess. If you sort of weight all your lures to use with titanium, then you'll need to reweight them again to use your fluorocarbon.
Dean, how are you doing, buddy? Dean's Australian. That's why he's got a big perch in his picture. Yeah. So his perch PB is a bit bigger than my perch. Slightly different nose perch, aren't they? Yeah. So £40 pike. I'm a cheapskate, Dean. So I've probably already got a trace tied on, and I don't want to take it undo knot and tie something else on and cut a bit of braid off. So I'll just use whatever's on. Honestly, I would do. The reason I stuck with that fluoro trace for so long was because it was tied on and I didn't want to take it back off. And then I put wire on, and yeah, I've no worries about wire. I'm not scared of using wire with pike, even with crystal clear water. I don't have that fear that wire's going to put a pike off. Pike's just seeing this stupidly bright orange thing with size 3 or eagle claws on it. It's not scared of a bit of wire either, so it can see hooks. I ain't got fluorocarbon hooks on.
I think if you put that lure across that pike and it wants to feed, it's going to have it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's got fluorocarbon or wire on.
Yeah. But to be honest, if probably my best chance if I knew there were a pond that had got a 40-pound pike in it, my best chance is to drain pond. So that's probably what I'd end up doing.
I'll net it.
Yeah. Catherine, I've got that one coming up later on. I've got a video about that in a week or two. I've answered that one. So get ready for it. Well, I say I've answered it. I've rambled on for a bit.
Paddle tail or curl tail? Yeah. You need both.
Why does it have to be one or the other?
No, it can't be.
Both. One of each in each colour. One of each in every colour.
Yeah. It's just about having variety in it. You need a bit of variety.
Yeah,
everybody
loving it.
Yeah, everybody loves a discussion on fluorocarbon.
How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Sal's a good follower of River Piker stuff. It messaged me and buys from my shop, this lad. So cheers for that, mate. Always on my YouTube videos. Top man. Yeah, I think Neil, you know your hour that you said we'd talk for.
Yeah, we've missed Matt Hayes as well now.
Matt Hayes, I think Matt were in earlier. A bit shy. He didn't want to talk. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up anyway. We've been on for a couple of hours rambling on. I think we'll wrap it up and we'll do it again another time. Not straight away, but we'll do it again in a week or two or whatever, and just have another little chin wag. It's hard to talk about stuff when you're not really doing it. You're sat in your house. Well, I go to work and come back. Neil's same. Well, actually, Neil's on holiday at the minute, aren't you, Neil?
Yeah, I left my Sweden holiday. I want to talk about
Sweden. Why are you on holiday? Neil's on holiday because we should have been in Sweden and we haven't gone. So
yeah.
No,
thanks for tuning in and stay safe out there.
Cheers for watching. Passed a bit of time on. Yeah, passed a bit of time on. So yeah, cheers for all your questions and that. And like I say, we'll do some more. We've got more videos coming, so keep your eye on the channel. I'll keep you updated with what's happening, and keep dreaming about big pike. I forgot to tell you, Neil. Well, I had a dream about big pike. Oh, never. We went to Sweden, right? We got in Joven's boat. We got to the first spot, right? And he cast out and he caught this. It was that 40-pound pike that Dean were on about. It were humongous. And,
why did Joven have to catch it?
I don't know, because he just did. He caught it, right? And he got it to thing, and he went. He goes, I ain't got my scales. So he had to leave us on a rock with his pike in net while he went back to camp to get his scales to come back and weigh it. And you never guess what happened. I woke up before he got back, so we never know how big it was.
So he didn't want to use my scales?
Your scales, it'd have been 40 plus if it'd been on your scales.
Yeah. My scales are knackered. That 24-12 that Paul had the other week destroyed my scales. They just fell to bits.
I think we picked it up when you said about £15 on your scales. I'm like, no, it's bigger than that, mate. It's bigger than that.
They don't get a lot of use. So.
I know. Yeah, right. So that's it anyway. So,
okay, nice one.
Yep. Cheers, boys.
Cheers guys.
girls.
Stay safe.
Thanks for coming. See you after.
Ta-ra.
Right, how do we stop it? End broadcast.